We're here with Arena Tournament 40 today. So hoping for a good turnout, of course, and yeah, should be some good games. I hope. Um, so as you can see right now, the turnout's a bit on the low side, but I do anticipate we'll get some more students joining. Hopefully Benjamin will play, and yeah, hopefully we'll get Vincent online. So hopefully we'll get some more players before the tournament starts. All right, looks like Vincent's mom messaged me, so hopefully he'll jump on. Okay, there's Vincent. Um, yeah, I know a lot of the kids have some finals they were telling me coming up, so they might be studying or playing some Xbox or something. But hopefully we'll get some more kids so we can have a higher turnout. So it looks like we have an odd number, so hopefully we get even numbers so that Devin can get an opponent. All right, so let's go ahead for the games here. All right, let's start with Amelia and Jonathan here. Mainly curious to see Jonathan's improvement. Yeah, turnout is super low so far, so we'll see if some stuff changes. We don't have any students in New York, which yeah, is always a bit disappointing. All right, so yeah, so here we have King's Pawn opening, Knight F3. I hope Jonathan doesn't go for like Bishop C5 here because I think Amelia will punish that move pretty severely. Okay, so he's maturing a lot, Jonathan, as a chess player. There was a long time I couldn't get him to avoid going for the four move checkmate, but he's definitely evolving. And oh, we have 8 players. Okay, cool. Doesn't oh sweet. Okay, Alex joined. Oh, Cece's playing. Okay, good. I don't see who the 8th person is, but I'm sure soon enough we'll figure that out. Hopefully Jaden, hopefully Aiden and Aiden will show up. Okay, Knight C3. Yeah, so again, there's nothing wrong with Knight C3. I do want to see if we can get the kids to maybe play more like Bishop C4 and then like C3, D4 ideas. So I think I just have to do a better job teaching that, to be honest, and just focusing on that a bit more. How come CC doesn't have an opponent? There's 8 players. Everyone should have an opponent now. Okay. So yeah, so here we just have a 4 knights opening. There's a lot of moves you could play. You could even go like, yeah, Bishop C4, definitely possible. I think you could also easily just play D4 in that position. There's lots of moves that white can play. So I think we'll probably just see some copying. Yeah, I think Bishop B4 is also okay. You can put the Bishop on B4 when the knight's on C3. Prior to knight going on C3, which Eileen likes to do a lot, I'm trying to help her break that habit. Is you don't want to play Bishop to B4 if there's no piece on C3 because then white will just pick up the tempo with C3, and that will be a good position for white already. Yeah, Jonathan's really showing a lot of restraint. So I know Jonathan is normally a very aggressive player. So again, it seems like he's maturing a lot. I hope we don't see some move like D5 here. Okay, so here goes Jonathan with the attack now. So I had a feeling he wasn't going to hold back from the attack here for long. This move is not particularly good because yeah, we're moving the same piece twice in the opening, but we haven't developed all of our pieces yet. Yeah, so I don't know if Jonathan's going to go for knight takes F2 or not, which wouldn't be a great move for black. So generally, you don't want to trade your knight and bishop for rook and pawn. Even though they're both worth 6 points, generally the knight and bishop are much stronger. Yeah, this move is actually this move is kind of interesting because if king h1, I guess we have knight e3 or something. But just after rook takes f2, like this doesn't change too much. You just capture twice. I think Amelia should know this, but we'll find out. Yeah, I hope she doesn't play king h1 here. I think just rook takes is very comfortable advantage for white. Okay, so she does go king h1, which would be a very good move except for knight e3. So we'll see if Jonathan finds knight e3 here. Because if he doesn't play knight f3, if he just like retreats his knight back to f6, for example, then Amelia's just winning the bishop for a pawn, and that would be even better. But yeah, again, this move knight e3 I think is a bit worrisome. No, that just loses everything. No, and the bishop cannot. No, I don't like. Geez. Yeah, Amelia's getting. She's not getting checkmate. She's a little lucky that h6 square is defended by the bishop, but yeah, I don't like this move's not precise at all. Like here, we just take the queen. Yeah, I just have to get a little bit more patience from Jonathan. Still, he started off so promising, but then he sort of just launched the attack, and yeah, like if there was any safe square for the queen on the h file, this would it wouldn't be a mate because of knight h2, but yeah, this is a typical mating pattern when the king can't go to the g file because of any reason, and if we can also attack the squares on the h file. Got a ninth player joined us. Okay, so we're getting there. I think maybe it's maybe the season is the reason why the turnout's a little low. Hopefully people, in all seriousness though, hopefully people are spending more time with their family. Oh, Benjamin's playing, cool. But at the same time, I do think this is like a positive way to spend your Saturday, of course. So it'd be nice if the turnout was a little higher. So what happened? Why am I missing the moves? Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's weird. Why did the move stop? Okay, so queen takes pawns, probably best. Okay, there. And yeah, just again, Amelia's playing this very logically, right? Just waiting for mistakes. This is kind of how, just as an aside, Carlsen basically won the world championship by sort of having this style where he's just going to let his opponent make the mistakes. And when I was growing up, that was always my philosophy for most sports or competitions I was in. Like for tennis, for example, I was really a big believer in just letting your opponent hit the ball out. And I don't think, I mean, to stick with tennis, right? I don't think you're gonna be like a great tennis player with that attitude, but I think you'd be very good. And in chess, like it's really surprising that in the best players in the world that you can win with just sort of letting your opponent collapse. But I think Carlsen understood Nepomniachtchi pretty well, I think, and he realized that once he gets some negativity in his thought process, Nepomniachtchi he can collapse quite quickly. Anyway, back to this game. So the reason why I said all that, by the way, is I think Amelia is doing a really good job of just letting Jonathan make the mistakes and just keep piling up the extra pieces. Yeah, so here we just have more pieces we can take, and now Jonathan's retreating his pieces, so. D4 is interesting, probably unnecessary. I don't know. I might have just played some move like bishop g5, just keep developing. Yeah, I don't think knight f5 is anything to worry about here, but maybe there's probably more precise moves. You can even just play like knight g5 here and offer this queen trade, because if queen takes queen, you have your knight defending it. So maybe knight g5 is an even simpler way to try to liquidate the position and just go into an endgame where Amelia's up 5 points. But d4, okay, d4, take, okay. Knight f5 is a blunder, right? There's 2 attackers versus just 1 defender. So yeah, this is the purpose of these games. These are the things we really want to try to improve upon. So yeah, here Jonathan can just win a free piece. Yeah, I think Amelia missed the bishop. I noticed there's lots of things that we can get better at, of course, but one, the pawns we seem to be struggling with still, and I noticed we're missing a lot of these like long bishop moves. So like Amelia missed that the bishop could take the queen on g5. So these are things that we need to practice more, and of course that's my responsibility to make sure that we do practice more in those things. Yeah, so right now, bishop d3. Now I'm not so huge fan of trading the pieces because your material's even. I guess Amelia saw that the bishop was hanging. Yeah, I don't actually know what to suggest for white here. So basically, white just had this really spectacular position, and they kind of lost their advantage, to be honest. So bishop d3, bishop g4, very nice move. Bishop e2. No, that just loses the bishop. So yeah, I don't get. No, queen g3 is a really bad move. So let's see what happens from here. Yeah, here we just have the X-ray, right? I have 2 attackers versus just 1 defender. And Yeah, the thing about this queen move that's particularly not so great is there's no safe checks against the king at all. So like queen e3 just loses the queen. So yeah, queen g3 was a pretty significant mistake there. Oh, Harry's playing. Oh, Harry's playing CC. They're cousins. Oh, that's cool that Harry's playing. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, we're still at 9 players, huh? So the turnout isn't so great at all today. All right, what can you do? This move I like. So Jonathan's idea was to play queen e3 with the idea of rook here and rook here. This I like a ton. I think the problem is a move just like, let's say, bishop d2, like getting the rook into the defense is going to save everything. Moves like knight e2 wouldn't be so good because then you just lose the bishop. So, nice move from Amelia. That's a really strong move. Really strong move. And now, now I think we sort of have to go for desperate measures. Like I think moves like f5 might be required now. Like I don't see how we're generating anything. Yeah, that's a good move from Jonathan. Like we basically have to go on the attack. So f5, let's see what Amelia does with the bishop, and like some ideas of rook f6 and rook g6 might give a little bit of problems, but I think just bishop f3 here for white is quite simple. Also, queen f3 might no, queen f3. Sorry, queen f3 runs into queen takes g4, so never mind, that won't work. Okay, bishop here. Okay, attack picking up the tempo. That's a nice move. That's a nice move from Amelia. And that also stops like rook f6, rook g6 ideas, I think, if black plays g6 here. Yeah, so g6 is a solid move, but now these rook lifts aren't going to materialize at all. Unless we aim for something like g5, rook f6, rook h6. No, this is a bad move from Amelia. No, scratch that. Is that a bad? No, that's an interesting move. Actually, this might be a very good move from Amelia, so that's my apologies. Yeah, this is an excellent move. Yeah, I was thinking we could just play this and then queen takes and pawn takes, but after this move, the bishop can just capture. So queen e5. Okay, so I think I guess we're not forced to play bishop f3. I guess we could play a move like bishop c3 first. But bishop c3 runs into queen e3 check, and then you lose the bishop, so that's not really possible. I guess you could play bishop f4 here. It looks possible because the knight's protecting, and there's no checks on d4, e3 still. I don't think Amelia will play bishop f4 here, but that might be okay. So Amelia's finding some really strong moves here. Yeah, bishop f4 is a really nice move. I'd probably just drop back with a move like queen e7 here. This has been overall a well-played game. There's been a couple times where both sides hung some pieces, but generally speaking, I think this has been a good game. Yeah, queen e4 is probably also interesting, but I just don't see what we're doing after bishop f3. Like after bishop f3, we'll probably have to retreat the queen anyway. I guess after bishop f3, we could look for like queen c4, queen b4 perhaps. I don't know. So like I don't fault Jonathan for trying to get his queen active in the center of the board. The problem is he's just not going to be able to keep the queen there. No, this is a bad move for Amelia. This just hangs the bishop, and now Jonathan is back in the game. Because once you take the bishop, you're also threatening to win the knight because you have 2 attackers versus just 1 defender. So I think this move from Amelia was just slightly impatient. Yeah, slightly impatient. Very nice move from Jonathan, by the way. Yeah, I'm not sure what I like as white here. Because your bishop is sort of, you won the pawn, that was nice, but now your bishop sort of lost control of this diagonal. And I don't know, it feels like the king might be, yeah, so I was wondering about knight c3, but now I was looking at like queen e3 check. And if king h2 might be pretty safe because the bishop is guarding this diagonal. But king h2, let's say f4 with the threat of queen g3. This is an interesting move by Jonathan, but I think he's missing that he's not threatening rook e1. I don't know if he's forgetting about this rook here or not. Okay, bishop d6, probably. No, queen f6. No, that's just a bad trade for black, Jonathan. That's a bad trade. Yeah, this is something we have to definitely get better at. Okay. Queen d3. Yeah, queen d3 I think is a very nice developing move, and then probably could play like rook f1, or it depends what black does. I mean, I think rook e1 is preferable if we can play this move like rook e1, rook e6, queen g3. Yeah, now I think just rook e1 is very strong. I don't even think we have to worry about this b4 move. You can also just take this pawn on b5, of course, but I would just keep developing. We're already up enough material. That's also a good move. And yeah, it prevents black from playing rook e8 because the rook's hanging. Yeah, I think queen c6 is quite good here. Just start getting a little bit more aggressive. There's a cool tactic here. So let's say queen c6. Yeah, queen takes queen, pawn takes rook c8, and then it looks like there's no way to protect the pawn. But then you have this really nice move, knight d5. And the idea is if rook takes pawn, you have knight e7 check, forking the king and the rook, and you actually win a lot of material. Yeah, so here we can just trade the queens. I mean, there's a lot of moves you can play as white here. You could play d6 if you wanted to. I wouldn't play d6. I would just trade the queens here. Also, queen e6 is probably a very strong move for white. And the point of queen e6 is you just yeah, d6. I think d6 is a strong move. It might be objectively the best move, but to me, it's just a little bit risky because now there's this pin. I mean, I guess you have queen d5 check, so it's easy to get out of the pin. Okay, h3. Okay. Yeah, he might win this one on time, Jonathan. I'm starting to think. Yeah, Miller's playing a little bit too slow. So now I like f4 here. Queen g7 just runs into rook g1. That just pins the queen to the king. So yeah, when I suggested f4, I think there's the same problem. So f4 was not a good move either. But yeah, this is an extremely good move from Amelia here. Yeah, and actually queen 8 is even better, I think, than taking the queen here right away. Yeah, taking the queen is fine, but oh, now queen 8 is just made actually. So I think Jonathan had to take with the king there. So we'll see how good we are with the back rank checkmates. So queen e8 is better because remember, for a back rank checkmate, you want to stop the king from moving forward. So queen e8 would also have attacked the f7 square. So you'd be attacking all the squares in the last row of the board. If I can make the arrow work, and the king would be unable to move forward. So as much as Amelia's dominating, I am getting a little bit worried she's going to lose on time. Yeah, like here she just got to make a move, like any move, d7, knight d5, any queen d7, fine. Just got to make confident and quick decisions here. Like here you could actually play queen takes. Yeah, you could play queen takes rook here because the king is outside of the square of the pawn. Yeah, just these checks aren't gonna get it done is my guess. But we'll see. We'll see. Amelia still has, objectively, she still has plenty of time, but I don't know how comfortable she's going to be in this time scramble. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Yeah, like here, just take and then push, and yeah, she's thinking a lot. Like this move's also just a mate actually, so hopefully she'll find this move. Yeah, she's close to finding the right moves. I think one thing I've noticed from Amelia is she's missing a lot of diagonal queen moves, so she's only sort of using the queen like a rook. Don't forget the queen can also move diagonally. Yeah, if she would have played this move last turn, the game would have been over. So here, rook h5 is forced. And then, yeah, I don't think she's going to win in time. Yeah, she definitely deserves to win, but I think she's going to run out of time. Yeah, king here is forced to only move. Nope, sorry, king takes pawn. Okay, my bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad of me. Yeah, I was gonna say, so rook g5 runs into queen h7 mate again. So this is a good check, but still I don't see. So yeah, this move or no that move is just no that just gets mated now in 2 moves. Yeah, if he would have found King H2, Jonathan, I think he Amelia Queen G2. Okay, she's gonna play Queen G2 next move though anyway. That was pretty exciting. That was an exciting game. Okay, so we're up to 10 players now. So who else? Who do we have here? So who joined? I think these are old. Oh, Eileen joined. All right, let's look at Eileen versus Harry. So this is Harry's first tournament, so I'd like to welcome him. And then Eileen is a sporadic participant, but she plays a lot of tournaments. Eileen. Okay, so already I noticed that we have a Queen's Pawn opening, right? So hopefully whoever is actually watching these videos, hopefully they're remembering that in a Queen's Pawn opening, it's a delayed Queen's Pawn opening, right? Like Eileen didn't play D4 on the first move; she played on the second move. But this is still a Queen's Pawn opening. So because both sides moved the pawn in front of their queen's 2 squares. So hopefully the people watching this video realize that we should be trying to get our pawn to C4 as white. And as black, like if you can get your pawn to C5, that's great. But you should at least try to get your pawn to C6. You pretty much don't want to get your knight in front of this pawn. There's some more advanced variations, right? You'll see some even like super grandmasters and other strong players playing ideas of like knight c3 and bishop f4 and castle queen d2 and castle queenside. I don't think we're quite ready for those ideas yet. So I'm just recommending that we stick with what's worked for at least 100 years, probably even longer, and try to get our pawn to c4 and get our knight behind the pawn. This way you get as much pressure on the d5 square as possible. And we've talked a lot in all my classes, I think, about what to do if the pawn takes pawn, at least some simple ways to try to get your pawn back. And then, of course, the famous trap with like b5, a4 ideas. Yeah, we've talked about that many hours already. So hopefully we feel comfortable what to do if the pawn takes on c4. So knight f6, e3, knight c6, bishop d3, e6, castle, bishop d6. And then, yeah, here again, knight c3 from Eileen. Like, we just go c4. Like, just push c4. And then, yeah, knight g5 I don't like very much because we're moving the same piece twice in the opening. But I think what happens is the kids don't know what else to do. So I think Eileen maybe realizes she's not supposed to play knight g5 here. But I think she's just like, well, bishop d2 isn't very aggressive. So, like, what else can I do here? If I was playing white here, I'd be really tempted to just play e4 now and try to create a pawn break in the center because you have the same number of defenders, right? Two defenders as black has attackers. And also we're threatening like e5 if black doesn't take. So black's pretty much forced to capture. And I think white has a good position there. So knight g5, take. Now it's a really bad move. Yeah, I don't know why Eileen didn't just capture. This is, again, like we're just missing too many easy pawn moves. And then, yeah, Eileen just hung her queen. Yes, little frustrating. Okay, g4, no big deal. Yeah, queen can just take. Okay, yeah, here we should take the knights. Yeah, just a lot of forgetting about how the pawns capture. And really good job by Harry here, seeing that the bishop was attacking his queen. That was really solid. He should have just played queen takes g4 instead of queen f6, but I'm just generally happy that he saw this queen was under attack. Okay, so queen f6. I mean, there's really nothing to be excited about as white here. By the way, in addition to queen takes g4, maybe queen e5 with the idea of queen takes h2 mate was interesting. Although then then white does have this move f4, which we don't have a great response to. So yeah, maybe queen e5 is actually not such a great move. We could have also played knight f3 first and then taken on g4. That's also possible. Yeah, there could have been interesting. This tactic doesn't work, but let's say after knight f3, king here. Yeah, never mind. This idea doesn't work at all. I was thinking we had some like knight g3 and queen h4 checks, but this doesn't do anything. Anyway, so queen f6, bishop e3. Yeah, again, like both sides are just not. Well, mostly just Eileen. Eileen's just not using her pawns like they can be used, which is costing her a lot. She's missing a lot of opportunities to capture her opponent's pieces. And you can see, like, yeah, Harry's the only one having any fun here. He's the one yeah, so Eileen missed this pawn capture. She probably, I think she might have missed this. Yeah, so also a good move by Harry. Yeah, again, I mean, I'm just making up a figure. I don't know precisely, but I would estimate like 80% of playing chess well is just seeing what you can capture and what your opponent can capture. Like if you're not missing any checks or captures, and you're seeing all the checks and captures your opponent can do to your side, like you're already playing pretty decent chess. That's already like a pretty okay level of chess that you can play a good game against anyone. So it's really important that we don't give our pieces away. So this move is just, I mean, it's not gonna cost Harry anything here. I don't, but this move is just crazy. Like we can't just bring our king out in the open. Just king back to g8 where it's nice and safe. Yeah, this move f4 with the idea of f5 is the best try for Eileen here, but yeah, the pawn's not safe. So it's not going to work out. Here we just have queen takes g4, which wins the rook. This is a good game from Harry. Besides his playing knight c6, I think this was a very good game. So we're up to 11 players now. Is this not updating, or because it seems like the scores are extremely low? Like, are the games just dragging on very long, or is it just not updating? Okay, so so Benjamin and Alex drew one game. Okay, CC lost one game. It's a really competitive tournament. It seems like a lot of people are on 1 out of 2 points. I kind of want to jump in, but I feel like the kids think it's unfair when I jump in, so I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure ethically what I should do here. It does seem like we should have an even number of players. That's the only thing that makes me think that it would be a good idea for me to play. By the way, here just bishop g3 with the idea of queen h2 and queen f2 is a mate, because this king has no squares to move to, and they have these 3 pawns that can move, so it's not a stalemate. I am wondering if there's an even better. Also, yeah, bishop c5. This is just a mate in 1. So yeah, this is something I should find, of course. Okay. Black won by resignation. That was a respectable resignation from Eileen there, so that's a good thing. Let's look at Chelsea versus CC. So I don't know who's watching my videos, but the only person I know for sure has been watching my videos has been Chelsea, because her mom lets me know. So I have to make sure that I cover at least one of Chelsea's games, if not more. And I think this would be a good one to cover. So Chelsea and CC are classmates, and both improving quite quickly. Already I can see that Chelsea took my lesson on developing her pieces quickly to heart, which is awesome. And I really like that CC's playing bishop c5 here, because a lot of chess teachers will teach young students that this move knight f6 is a move to not play right here because of knight g5. Knight f6, by the way, is a perfectly fine move to play. Like, there's nothing wrong with this move. But when you're, let's say, below like a certain rating level, it's very tough to find all the best moves against knight g5. So that's why bishop c5 is recommended by a lot of chess coaches here, because if white plays knight g5, you just take the knight for free. And let's say, okay, castle, knight f6. If white plays knight g5 now, then you just have this move castle, which you want to play anyway. And remember, one of the best benefits of castling is it defends your weakest square 2 times, so it's not the weakest square anymore. Like, same thing for white. Notice that once Chelsea castled, the f2 pawn is defended 2 times, so it's not as easy for black to attack the square anymore, right? The more times you defend something, the harder it is for your opponent to attack that square. So knight c3, castle, d3, d6, and yeah, again, this is one of those positions where, to be perfectly honest, if I never had to see this position again, I wouldn't lose any sleep. But it's in all seriousness, it's a perfectly fine position. It's just a big position that you see a lot at like scholastic chess tournaments and things of that nature. So yeah, I must have seen this opening, who knows, thousands of times, I would guess. So here we had h6 from CC. Perfect, yeah, perfect move. So it shows she's really remembering what we're covering in the chess class. The reason why this move is so important, by the way, is that bishop g5 is pinning the knight to the queen. So white is threatening this move knight d5. So after h6, if the bishop drops back to h4, and then let's just make a move like a6, which actually could be useful for black to retreat the bishop in some variations. So again, so let's say h6, which happened, bishop h4, a6. If Chelsea goes for knight to d5 now, then black can break the pin with this move g5, and this is already an even position for black. But it's very complicated, right? Because anytime you're moving the pawns in front of your king, you have to be careful. But black is fully justified in this position with this strategy. So anyway, so h6, and then bishop takes is interesting. So I think this creates a fresh character to the game. So queen takes f6, knight d5. Okay, perfect. Queen d8, and this is another one of those positions that a computer would evaluate as equal or very close to equal. But there's definitely some imbalances. Like one, white has this very nicely placed knight on d5 in the center, and as compensation for that well-placed knight for white, black has the bishop pair. So this is what we call in chess imbalances. So you have some advantage, your opponent has some advantage. Who will use their advantage better? That's the side that will win the chess game. And then here Chelsea played b3. I have another student, Brian, who had to break of this habit. I don't know why this move seems appealing to a lot of the kids. I should ask them, right? I should find out. Yeah, I don't understand what Chelsea thinks this move is accomplishing, because this is more advanced kind of concepts, but I think the kids are clearly ready for these ideas. The problem with a move like b3 is you're weakening your dark squares. So this pawn on b2 is attacking the a3 and c3, which are, notice they're both dark squares. So once she moves this pawn, now there's one less piece to defend these squares now. And the reason why this could matter is, one, notice that only black has a dark square bishop here. White doesn't have a dark square bishop. So that's the first issue. And the second issue is you're just in general, you don't want to create like weaknesses in your position. So I think if we're going to play some pawn moves here, which I think we could justify, I think we should go for the center pawn break, right? Like c3 and d4. Remember our opening principles. We want to fight for the center of the chessboard still. So c3 has a couple of interesting ideas. One, d4, which I just mentioned. The other, though, is we have this idea c3, b4, and then the bishop has to go to b6, only save square. And in which case, Chelsea could go for this move. I don't think she should play this move or has to, but she could trade the knight for the bishop so that black doesn't have the bishop pair anymore. The other idea is after c3. Let's say we have like bishop e6. Let's just give a move for black. So c3, bishop e6, b4, bishop b6. We then have this interesting idea a4. And a4 can be followed with a5, trapping the bishop. So this is a very common idea that you'll see with a lot of Grandmaster games. So yeah, so I think c3 with the idea of either d4 or b4 is very, very interesting here. And the reason why you're making some pawn moves here is it's not clear exactly where your rest of your pieces belong. So this is also like kind of a common theme in chess. We talk about developing our pieces a ton, but sometimes it's not clear like where to develop your pieces. So that then you want to sort of improve your other pieces that you know like are good on these squares before you commit your other pieces. Anyway, I don't understand why. I don't understand why CC took so long. Did she have an internet problem? So Chelsea should definitely win this game now. So it looks like she wants to play a3 and b4. So hopefully Chelsea can see that this move b3 is unnecessary, because if you want to play a3 and b4, you can play b4 in one turn. So there's no reason to take 2 turns to accomplish something you can accomplish in one turn. And in chess, we call this just a loss of time, right? Very, very straightforward phrase. So yeah, anything that you can accomplish in one move, it's almost always better to do it in one move rather than 2 moves. So knight d4, attacking the pin piece. And you can see why Chelsea included this nice move h3, so she can prepare g4. So perfect. Bishop g6. And yeah, okay, so now you can really see why this move b3. Again, I know I'm talking about this a lot, but okay, so Chelsea did take, and then the bishop took. So we would like to go. I mean, I guess we could still play c3 since the knight's defending this square. But but this move b3, like notice that the bishop's attacking the rook, which we didn't have to allow. And after c3, black could try to get a little tricky and play a move like c6 perhaps. So just like another thing we have to calculate as white that we wouldn't have to think about at all if our pawn was on b2. If our pawn's on b2, we just play c3. We kick this bishop away. If the bishop goes to c5, then you can play like moves like b4, attacking the bishop again. And white can just slowly build up the position. Like once we get rid of this bishop, which is pinning our f2 pawn, then we have ideas like f4, f5, trying to really restrict the light square bishop. So white did win on time. I kind of want to thank Cici for taking her time in this game. So it gave me a lot of chance to kind of talk. probably talking a little, a little bit more than I should instead of following the action. So anyway, though, let's cover the rest of this game. So it looked like a very interesting position. So we had rook b1, queen d7, a4. Yeah, and Chelsea's just she's just creating so many weaknesses on her dark squares, and it's just something that's going to take a lot of experience before she. This is one of the hardest concepts that I had to learn when I was trying to improve as a chess player. I think one person I really want to give credit to was Josh Waitzkin. He had I think they had this chess program called Chessmaster 5000. Every version they would just up it 1,000. So I think the first one was like Chessmaster 1000, 2000, and so on. And they used to have these nice videos from some strong players. So Josh Waitzkin was an international master. He's the subject of the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer. And yeah, he had a really great lesson on light squares and dark squares and what that meant exactly. And that was the first time it really clicked for me, like what that meant exactly. So basically, again, just to give a little like short demonstration of what I'm talking about, this pawn on a3 is attacking this dark square on b4. So pawns don't move backwards. So once you move this pawn forward, you're really weakening this this b4 square. So now, like, all of these dark squares are going to be very weak because after this, so Cici played a really nice move here, c6, because this knight was the only piece defending these two dark squares. So once the knight moved, yeah, like now there's no defense. So you could play bishop c3, probably not so great here because of knight a2. And then if the bishop goes to, like, let's say a5, you have b4 there. So yeah, probably bishop c3 doesn't do anything here. So one thing that might have been interesting for Cici to consider is perhaps, I'm not saying this is necessarily the best move, but perhaps a move like a5 first to attack the b4 square, and only then play c6. And then the knight has to go to e3, where it's actually not a bad square for the knight. So yeah, maybe this whole idea of a5 is a bit too slow, but anyway, I like this move c6, and like this knight to me looks like it's sort of running out of squares already. Like if you play a5 now, knight a2, like this knight only can go to c1 safely after that, and it's just like this knight is really getting into danger quickly. Okay, so rook c1. So it looks like Chelsea is aware that she wants to play c3. So this is actually a very sophisticated move from Chelsea, I think. Like very nice move. Because, yeah, now you're preparing c3. And if bishop c3, again, we have knight a2. And I know I'm just talking about Chelsea's position mostly because I feel like she's probably much more likely to watch this than Cici is. But I should give Cici a lot of credit. I like the way she's just slowly building up her position. She's getting her pieces on optimal squares before she tries to open up the center with a move like d5, which I assume is something she's going to want to play at some point. Okay, here, d4. Okay, take. Yeah, so here we have a nice deflection. So this pawn's the only piece defending the knight. So the problem with d4 here is that after take, the most natural move would be to capture back, but that move doesn't work because then you lose your knight. So yeah, Cici is very impressive as a chess player. I think a couple of her losses seem like she's getting to time pressure. This game, I assume she had some kind of internet issue because she really got low on time. But yeah, she's really finding some very nice strategic ideas. Like that's just a free pawn, really well done. Yeah, just like very hard to recommend the move for white here. Like this bishop is very strong. This d pawn is a very strong pass pawn. The white king is looking a bit out in the open. Um, yeah, it's extremely difficult to suggest any kind of plan for white in this position. And again, I think a lot of it just had to do with this move b3 that seemed to lead to some troubles for the white side. So a6, okay, b5. Yeah, here we just don't have enough defenders, right? There's 1, 2, 3 attackers versus just 1, 2 defenders. So we just don't have quite enough defenders here. Okay. H5 is kind of interesting, trying to open up the king side. Okay, take. Okay, f3. Yeah, that might be like a forced move from Chelsea there. So that's a nice move. I probably would throw in like a queen g3 check. Also, yeah, maybe queen g3, king h1's forced. Yeah, okay. So I think this is probably the play. I think queen g3, rook here. No, rook e5. Then you just take the bishop because then the queen is defending the h5 pawn. So what do we? So I'm definitely throwing in queen g3. I think so. Queen g3, rook h1, and I guess we could probably just play a move like bishop c6 here. Like why not? Yeah, why not just play bishop c6 and then this rook lift with rook e5 I think is going to be very strong. And if Chelsea plays rook e1 to prevent the rook lift, then we just trade off one pair of rooks and the queens, and that's going to be a very easily winning position for black because of the passed d pawn and yeah, safer king. So what happened here? So bishop f5. Okay, rook there. Bishop d3. That just hangs the bishop. No, why can't we just? Yeah, I think we could just take here. Maybe Sisi was thinking of rook e3. That's actually kind of interesting. Rook e3. Then, so if we go queen f5, I think just take, and this bishop on b3 is hanging. So that's an issue. Okay, so take rook e3. I guess we could play queen c2 perhaps. I don't know. I'm really trying to get this bishop c2 move in, of course, so I can threaten this battery and this nice check on h7. But there's no good squares. Like I can go to b1, but that just seems to hang this pawn here. Yeah, I think queen c2 is probably the right idea because then maybe we have some like rook c8 ideas. No, we don't because the queen's defending that square. Yeah, I'm not sure. So queen here, rook e3. I'm not sure what the best move is. Maybe we just go back to d1 again to defend the bishop and defend the f3 pawn. That might be the best move for white. So rook f2, yeah, that move is unnecessary. Okay, and I think Sisi saw her bishop was hanging here, so she just got her bishop out of town. I think queen g3 again. I really like this move, queen g3, and the point is that after rook g2, you have rook e1 check. And that forces white to give away their queen for a rook. B7. Yeah, here Sisi's getting way too defensive in my opinion. Like she shouldn't worry about this B7 pawn all. She should really just be going for an attack. Yeah, like I think rook e3 is probably a really nice move there. All right, anyway, so here check. Yeah, I think Sisi missed rook e1 here. Rook e1 is just winning for black. Yeah, so she saw her queen was under attack, but I think both sides missed the back rank checkmate possibilities. So right now the king can't move forward because of this queen, and then of course you can't capture your own rook. So rook e1 would have been just game over because you have to take. There's no other move, and then the queen takes back, and then you have to go king h2, no other move again, and this is just going to get pretty bad for white here really quickly. So there, okay, there. And then, where did Sisi really run out of time here? Oh, so this move she spent almost a minute on. Um, this is something I won't be too tough on the kids. They're gonna learn this by playing in tournaments and getting experience. But yeah, this is when you have 2 minutes and 38 seconds left on your time. You can't really spend 50 almost 52 seconds. You can't spend 52 seconds on a move like this. It's just yeah, just too much of your remaining clock. It's like over yeah, it's like over a third of your remaining time. So these are things that the kids will get better with in time. Anyway, hope that analysis was useful, Chelsea. Again, I know you're probably one of the few students that watch my videos still, so hopefully it was in depth enough, and yeah, hopefully learned a lot from that game. Um, so let's look at Linea. So it's good to have Linea here versus so it's another game against Chelsea. Yeah, Linea's really young. I think like not that comfortable using chess.com sometimes. So I bet you she probably doesn't even realize she's in the middle of a game, and I assume she's gonna get aborted on time. I think you get like 30 seconds before they'll end the game. Oh, okay. So she did make a move. Let's wait for another game of Lineas. Yeah, I think we can. Hopefully, we can find a better opportunity. So I think Chelsea should have a good game against Linea. So where is everybody? Oh, Harry's doing really well. Okay, I'm trying to find a game of someone that we haven't really covered yet today. I don't think I looked at Devin, but I did just look at one of CC's games. But it seems like we don't have that many players, so yeah, there's not too many games to choose from. Yeah, how come none of the top four boards have any opponents? Okay, that's weird. I sort of want to jump into the tournament now, but I know Alex will get mad because he's on a 5-game winning streak, and if I get paired against him and beat him, he'll be really upset that I interfered. But it's really a two person field here. They seem to be dominating everyone quite convincingly. I mean, I gotta look. Yeah, let's look at Eileen versus Amelia then. Yeah, I gotta look at someone. It looks like Eileen has a very strong attack here, so let's see what happens. So we have Petrov defense. Okay, here. Castle here. This is actually not so bad. I think you can actually give away this pawn because I think rook e1 is a good move for white here. So rook e1, d5. Actually, instead of rook e1, I think you're supposed to play. No, maybe this is just a free pawn. Okay, rook e1, d. I guess rook e1, d5, bishop b5 with the threat of taking this pawn. Yeah, I think white can play this opening. I think they get their pawn back by force. Okay, here. Yeah, again, I'm not liking these knight g5 moves from Eileen at all. Like they're not leading anywhere. This one's better because last time Harry had a knight on f6 was preventing queen h5 ideas. But yeah, this one I'm not. I don't know. Maybe this will work out okay for white. Okay, h6. I mean, this move f4 is just a very aggressive move. And I think f6 is a really big mistake for Amelia because here white just has g6, and I don't think there's any. You're not stopping this checkmate on h7. Like for example, if you try to run your rook away to give an escape square for your king, it's just one extra move. So queen h7, king f8, queen h8 is mate. And again, we have a type of back rank checkmate here. Yeah, so I don't see. There's no defense after g6, and this is just more. This is just clarifying for me more that we got to work on how the pawns move. Like I think we're just missing. I think we're totally missing a lot of these pawn ideas. It's interesting. A lot of people think that pawns are like the easiest piece to master because they can only move, like one square or two at the beginning of the chess game. But the pawns can actually move in 3 different ways with, yeah, moving 1 square or 2 squares. So that's 2 separate ways, and then they capture differently. So pawns are actually surprisingly not very simple pieces to learn. I'd say like probably the easiest piece in chess to learn is the rooks, right? Rooks are just straight lines. They don't jump over pieces. But pawns can be a little tricky to master. If we see the World Championship match, Nepomniachtchi made three blunders on 3 separate pawn moves. So yeah, pawns can be trickier than you think. Okay, 94. I think 95 might be a little bit better, but 94 is also quite interesting. Take, 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 take. Oh, what happened? Eileen was the one attacking, then she got checkmated. Okay, what happened? I think we have a perpetual check. So if Eileen wanted to draw, she can go queen f7, queen h5 forever, because if the queen ever blocks on h6, you just take with the bishop. So here, yeah, here Eileen could have gone for a repetition. I'm trying to see if there's a win here. There might be a win. There'd be a really cool win with rook f8, king takes, and then queen h8 mate. The only problem is that after rook f8, black can take with the queen here. But that would have been yeah, that would have been a pretty cool checkmate. Yeah, I was wondering if we have some rook lift for like rook f3, but that doesn't do anything because the bishop is attacking the h3 square here. And yeah, queen e8, king h7. I don't think we have a better move than just moving the queen back to h5 again. So anyway, so rook f7, okay, there. Yeah, so sort of this rook f7 I didn't work out so well for Eileen here, for white here. Rook f4. Okay. So after bishop h6, Amelia definitely should have just taken the free queen here. So after this move capture, which seems like, why wouldn't I just take the free bishop? This move actually is a big mistake because it allows this perpetual check again. So here you have queen g6, king h8, queen takes h6 check, king g8, queen g6. And for anyone who doesn't know what the word perpetual means, it just means a cycle that will continue forever. So that's what perpetual check means. It just means this sequence of moves that will go on forever and the game will just keep repeating. So that's why they have the rule threefold repetition. If you repeat the same moves 3 times in a row, the game's automatically a draw. So yeah, so queen h6, okay, here. Now we don't have perpetual check anymore because after queen g6, there's queen g7. Okay, rook there, bishop takes, h3. And then yeah, here Amelia's, yeah, very nice attack here. I would have been really happy if Amelia played rook f8 here. The reason I would have been really happy is one of the main signs of chess mastery is learning to get all of your pieces into the attack. And Amelia is headed in a very strong direction as a chess player. I don't want to put any expectations on anyone. I think that's really unfair to the kids. So I just will say though, Amelia is developing in a really positive way as a chess player. So I think once she starts recognizing moves like rook f8, just including all of your pieces into the attack, she's already a very good attacking player. She's going to be even much stronger attacking player once she sort of learns that lesson. Just yeah, get as many pieces into the attack as you can. But this move e3 is also quite good, right? Threatening checkmate. I mean, the only thing I don't like, right, is now you have to deal with a lot of checks, and it looks to me like the king is going to get out of the checks fairly easily, but it's just one more thing that you have to think about that, that you probably don't want to think about when your position is this winning. This is a good game from both sides. Yeah, I think both sides played quite well here. All right, so what's going on? Yeah, I think they changed some software on chess.com. It doesn't seem to update the games like it used to. Okay, so it looks like I really like to see a game between Benjamin and Alex if they're playing. But for some reason, like, Okay, never mind, never mind. These are new games. Okay, I need to check, get my glasses fixed apparently. Um, all right. So anyway, Alex really likes this modern defense. They call it the modern defense just because it's very flexible. So this move G6, you could play moves like D5. You can play a lot of different openings. You could play moves like C5 still. So just it gives you a lot of flexibility on where to put your pawns in the center of the board. You can even go for like D6, E5 at some point. You don't have to go for E5 by the way, but you can go like D6. So there's a lot of flexibility. I think in the first World Championship, or maybe it was the second between Carlsen and Anand. I want to say it was the first, but I can't remember for sure. Anand went a lot with this setup with C6, D5 coupled with G6. And for Nathan, who's a Caro-Kann player, this is called the Gergenzine. So I can't actually make the moves on the chessboard in this analysis mode. But basically, if it was oh, wow. Big upset. We're going to have to look at this game. Wow, wow. That's almost a 600-point rating difference. I was just reading the other day that if you're 600 points higher rated than your opponent, I think you have a 97% probability of winning. I just read that for some reason because there was some player who was 600 points lower that beat some other player. I don't remember the players, but I just remember that probability statistic. So yeah, it's like a huge upset, almost 600 points difference. Yeah, it shows the classes are paying off for Vincent. Hopefully that's what it shows. I don't know. I shouldn't. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging here, but yeah, that's a big win. So anyway, so let's say White played E4, C6, Knight F3, D5. There's some very strong chess players in Nevada that actually like this opening a lot. There's a really strong master, Glenn Badari, who's played this opening against me. It's a really tough opening to face. So yeah, just to give some ideas, especially I think we only have one Caro-Kann player, that's Nathan. But yeah, just to give some more ideas, it's an interesting system. And it's a funny system. Usually black goes like H5, Knight H6, and then Knight G4, or Knight F5 sometimes. It sort of depends what white does. So it's a pretty interesting opening. So Bishop G5, Bishop G7, E4, F6. Yeah, F6 is just asking for trouble from Alex. This just weakens the whole diagonal to your king. Bishop F4, E5, take, Bishop G3, Knight F6, hangs the pawn. Yeah, but this is a free pawn, I think, because after Knight takes, we can play Bishop takes here. Okay, but Bishop takes, Queen E7, that's the move that's a little shaky. Yeah, that might be too risky. So maybe this is a poison pawn. So basically a poison pawn's like a piece that you really that looks like it's free, but you really shouldn't capture. Knight C3, Knight C6, Knight F3, D6, Knight D5. Knight D5 I think is way too early here. I think Knight D5 just hangs the E4 pawn. So we always talk about this relationship between these two pieces. Alex actually taking a little break from chess class. He had a lot of high school stuff that he was attending to. I think he'll probably be back soon, hopefully. So the reason I'm mentioning that is he hasn't been in chess class in a while. If he had been, he would remember that these knights are attacking the same two central squares. And the reason we talk about this so much is exactly for moves like Knight D5, because here you just grab the E4 pawn, and not only are you winning a central pawn, which is already quite important, but now you're threatening to pick up this, get the bishop pair. And I think if Alex had found this move, he would have won. He would have won no problem. It shows you, right, in chess. Like, I know everyone always likes to have these comparisons between chess and life, and sometimes I think it's sort of overdone. But one thing I will say that chess is similar to life is sometimes your opportunities they evaporate quite quickly. Like, you only get these one move sometimes to cash in on your opportunities, and if you miss it, that's it. Like, you don't get another chance. So I think that's one way that they're very similar. Here, by the way, I really like Knight takes G5, because then you're gonna pick up the bishop, and I don't know. I guess you'd have to be a little worried about this D4 square for the knight, but I think C3 just kicks it out. So yeah, I think Knight takes G5 is probably a superior move to Queen takes. Here, Knight H4. Knight H4, very interesting move from Vincent. I don't know if it's good or not. It could be really bad, but it's very interesting. Okay, Vincent. Oh, he wants to let me know that he beat Alex. That makes me happy. I mean, I'm never rooting for any of the kids because then that would mean I'm rooting against someone. But to see someone very happy to get a good victory, that of course makes me like really happy, and I'm looking forward to the day when these wins sort of get routine, where he'll be like an 1800 player, Vincent, and then that'll get him excited or get him happy that he accomplished something he hadn't done before. So yeah, beating a 1400, that's a nice victory. So anyway, so continue with the analysis. So knight takes a2. If I can get back to the board. Okay, good. The thing with knight takes a2, yes, you're winning a pawn, but you're sort of helping the king move where it wants to move anyway, I think, and it's not clear to me how you continue the attack. So here, bishop b5, bishop a4. Yeah, and this is actually interesting. So we do lose a tempo as white, but at the same time, we weaken this d6 square, which could matter. Like we could, this is gonna be a hard pawn this is gonna be a hard pawn for black to defend, I think. Okay, b5, bishop b3, take, queen f6. Okay, let's see what happens. So here, okay, knight there, queen takes d6, check. Okay, so here we get a perpetual check, but Alex doesn't want to draw against a lower rated player, which is actually quite common. Notice, by the way, that what was I going to say? Yeah, I was going to say, notice the king can't move to c1 because of this move, but white never had the opportunity to move their king there anyway, so not exactly sure what I was trying to say. Okay, here. Yeah, now he's kind of running out of safe checks. Yeah, queen c4, queen here. I think there has to be a mate there somewhere, although I don't actually see it. No, actually, probably, yes. Okay, queen c4. Yeah, I don't actually see the mates. If this f-file was open, that would be nice, but it's not. Yeah, I think we probably could have played queen c4, but it's really tough to calculate. So what happened? King f7. Okay, take. Okay, queen c4 now. Rook d7 check. And yeah, now you're in the mating net. So you have to go king f8. Yeah, here there was just queen e7 checkmate. Yeah, this doesn't. It just prolongs the game by one move anyway. Sweet. Yeah, really happy for Vincent. And yeah, Alex, we need to get you back in the chess classes. No, he's a really strong player, Alex. There was a match between A-Tech, which is Nathan's team, and Shadow Ridge. Shadow Ridge, which is Alex's team, and A-Tech won 4-1, and the only board who won for Shadow Ridge was Alex. So I do take a little bit of pride in that. I think that's cool that the only one that was able to beat one of the A-Tech players was one of my students. So that's a good thing. And now since Alex has lost, I wonder if I can jump in the tournament. It's probably not right for me to interfere at this point. How come Vincent only played 5 games today? Devin's having a great tournament. Yeah, this is by far Devin's best tournament. Who's playing? Okay, so we have CC and Chelsea again. Yeah, I think anytime CC and Chelsea play, I like to cover these games. So I think they're fairly evenly matched, and they're classmates and about the same age. So yeah, I think that they're fun games to go over. I like that class, by the way. There's a class with Crystal, Chelsea, and Cece, and that really is one of my favorite classes to teach because I think they all bring a really good work ethic to class, and it just seems like a really good mix, that class. They're all like around, again, like the same age, and they all seem to get along very well. So yeah, I think that's a really good class that I teach. I just want to make sure I say in the video because I tell them that in class, but I feel like they probably think, oh, he just tells all his students that. I do like all the classes I teach, but there are some classes I do notice there's like a good, really nice synergy to, and I think that class in particular always stands out to me as a really fun class to teach. All right, so bishop h4, g5. Yeah, so g5 is just a little too early here. So we don't need to play g5 until white commits with knight d5. Because after g5, I think knight takes pawn is a very good move for white there. So like g5, knight takes, pawn takes here, and then it's very hard to ever get out of this pin. And white has moves like queen f3 coming and knight d5, of course, and it's a really annoying position to play. So yeah, I think g5 is just a little too early from Chelsea here. If white does play bishop g3 like CC did here, though, then I think you could justify g5. Okay, bishop e6. I don't know about taking this, actually. So it looks like you're just giving black double pawns, so this is bad for black. But actually, I think what you're doing is you're helping support this d5 push, because now you have an extra defender on the d5 square. And I don't know, it's not so easy how to attack this d7 pawn, because black's going to easily defend it with queen d7. They're going to connect the rooks. Probably they're going to leave this rook on f8 because it's a half-open file, and then you just push d5, and it becomes quite tricky for white here, actually. So one idea for CC, I think, knight d5, I think would have been interesting. And then also we talk about these retreating moves, which are hard to sort of explain when you see them for the first time. But the purpose of bishop to b3 is that after bishop takes bishop, you take back with the a pawn, and then you have a half-open a file for your rook. So your rook automatically becomes a better piece. So yeah, I don't know. Bishop takes e6. I bet you an engine doesn't complain about this move at all. But I think from a practical purpose, it makes black's position easier to play. Knight d4. I'm not so sure about knight d4. Like, I like to see Chelsea just continue her development, because you can sort of play knight d4, I think, whenever you want. And I don't see like what's so special about knight d4 on this turn. Like, I think white sort of has to capture, and then I guess you capture back with the pawn, and then like knight here. Yeah, I don't know. I think you should build up your position first as black. So I think like queen here, rook here, maybe some like d5 ideas again, and just try to build up your position first. Okay, so here, king knight b5. Take. This is an excellent sequence of moves. Yeah, excellent. This is very high level chess. This sequence here. So Chelsea correctly calculated she could take the pawn on b2. CC correctly calculated that after rook b1, the bishop would have to retreat to d4. I guess you could try moves like a6 here. But I don't think that changes much. It could change a little bit, but I don't think it changes too much. So yeah, bishop d4 is forced if you want to get your bishop back to safety. And then yes, so Chelsea has to see that c3. She can just retreat her bishop to either b6 or c5. So the bishop's not trapped. That's really important to calculate. So take. Yeah, that was very nice sequence of moves. That was very nicely done. Okay, b7. Okay, hold on. I want to look at this again real quick here. Okay, so okay, rook a7. You might be tempted to also play rook f to b1 here and just keep control of the only open file on the chessboard. So that might be an idea for CC, is just they call this doubling up the rooks. So notice you have one rook on the b file, but if you have this other rook, if I can get the arrow to work, there's two rooks, so you call it doubling up the rooks. So anyway, so. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this game. Both players are playing really well. One thing I'm noticing about CC is for this format, it's a slight negative, but in the long run, I think it's going to be a huge positive for her. Is she really does take her time before she makes her decisions, and yeah, I think in the long run, that's really going to pay off for CC. But for this particular format with the game in 10 minutes, I think it's actually holding CC back a little bit. Like, I think if it was game in 30 minutes, you will see some very high quality chess from CC. I'm not saying that you're not already, but I think I can tell she really likes to use her time, because you can see that Chelsea's playing a lot faster than CC is. which I think is a good strategy for Chelsea. I think she could slow it down a tad. Like when you have, I don't know. I mean, if she feels comfortable with her rhythm, then just keep doing what you're doing. Um, but when you see that you're getting such a big time advantage over your opponent, it's complicated because Chelsea's getting good positions. So as long as you're getting good positions, if you can get good positions and also have a lead on time, then that's what you should do. But you don't want to play so fast that you're not finding the best moves, is what I'm trying to say. So it's a delicate, it's a very tough balance. But generally, it looks like Chelsea is playing very good moves too. So if you can play very good moves and play quickly, that's the best of both worlds. So c5, fantastic move. This rook is just complete trap. So we have some classes where we go over trap pieces, and this would be this could be a position I could show my other classes. It's a really nice rook trap. This rook has no safe squares to move to now, and we can't counterattack this rook. So yeah, just have to give away some material. So here, what I'm hesitating here is, of course, taking the rook for a knight is a good trade for the black side. But what I'm wondering is if we can move our knight to safety and still trap the rook. Like for example, I'm wondering if we could play something like knight h7, and if rook g5, we have h5, and the rook is still trapped, and we don't have to lose our knight. So that's what I was hesitating about. So yeah, I think knight h7 might actually be the best move. I think knight h7, rook g5, h5, and I think we win the rook without losing our knight. e1, queen a8. Yeah, so queen a8 is a good example of doubling up on the open a file. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay, h3, rook a1. Yeah, Chelsea's just taking a monumental leap. Even within the tournament, it seems like. So she's up material. She's offering a rook trade, right? You want to make even trades when you're up material. So that's a positive. h5 is a mistake. So h5 just runs into queen takes g5. So I see her idea is to try to play h4. So the thing is that this bishop's not trapped anyway. Like if this bishop goes to e5, it's just a very centralized square for the bishop anyway. So yeah, I'm not so sure about h5, h4. And again, the main problem is it just drops your pawn for free. And when you lose this pawn, it's with check, and you're also attacking the rook. So the king has to go to f7 to defend the rook, and then you also grab the h5 pawn with check. And now, even though Chelsea has a rook for a bishop, I would say objectively white is probably better there because they have two connected passed pawns, the h pawn and the g pawn. And I think their king is actually much safer than the black king in this instance. So to give a suggestion instead of h5, I think there's a lot of moves you could play here. I think a move like queen c3 offering the queen trade is probably quite logical. Yeah, I think improving your, I don't know, king f7 doesn't seem that strong of a move to me, but just defending your pawn some more might be interesting. What else can we play? Yeah, those are the only sort of moves that are really coming to mind at the moment. I guess you could play like queen a8 and f8 and try to keep pressure on the f2 pawn, but that plan seems slightly slow to me. So yeah, I'm kind of partial to queen c3. I think I would queen c3 though, take. Yeah, bishop e5, then you take this f2 pawn and you hit the c2 pawn. So that should work out well for black. Anyway, let's cover some of the game. Okay, here. I like queen e2 from c, so that's a good move. G4, take. No, so we're missing the forcing moves, right? This is why we talk about checks and capture so much. You'll be amazed. It's called a swindle, right? So CC is definitely in a worse position, but you can swindle your opponent if you can find these forcing moves. You can really change the evaluation of the position. You can go from losing to winning in one move. And of course, after f4, I'm a terrible chess teacher if I don't point out we could play en passant. Not saying en passant's the best move for Chelsea, just yeah, it's a big obligation that I point out this move to at least. I actually do think en passant would be a very good move for black here, by the way. Yeah, because then we have rook h5 threats coming and queen h1, and I think the white king is gonna get checkmated there. King f7. Okay. All right, let's see what happens. c4. Yeah, here we had another en passant, and this en passant I'm pretty sure is a good move for black. So it's really important that we remember all the chess rules. Like, I think one of the worst ways to lose at anything is if you lose because you forget a rule. And if we don't remember en passant, that's going to happen to some of the students at some point. I don't know when, but eventually, if you forget all the chess rules, you're going to lose a chess game because of this. So the pawn moves 2 squares. The 2 pawns are next to each other. Black can capture en passant next turn. Again, you don't have to. I'm not saying that Chelsea needed to take en passant here, but I just want to make sure that both players are at least familiar, at least aware of the rule. Again, it's really demoralizing when you lose anything if you don't know the rules. If you lose a fair game, right, you might feel sad. You kind of get over it. But anytime you feel like you lost something because you were like unaware or something, or you almost feel like a little cheated. Those are tough things to deal with. So anyway, so take, king g6, queen c2, queen a3. I think we probably could just play queen c3 anyway, because take, bishop takes, and then we have this move rook c5, and there's no way for white to defend this pawn. Although like 2 versus 1, rook versus bishop, you are getting closer to drawish territory, but I think black should be able to win this position still. Anyway, queen a3 is a good move. Queen a3 is a nice move here. Okay, d3. Yeah, we sort of traded into the exact endgame that I was referring to. This one, it seems like the white pawns were able to get active faster than the other version, though. So, yeah, this might just be a favorable version of the endgame. Yeah, I think this might be in chess what we call a fortress. Although, no, I'm not sure because the king is going to get to f5 eventually, and I think. No, because you can't. Okay, you can't sacrifice your rook for the king and the bishop because then the g pawn can't be stopped anymore. So let me turn the evaluation. I'm just curious myself. I think this is a drawn position here. Yeah, so minus 0.07. It's saying that black is better by 7 hundredths of a pawn, which is basically meaningless. So this is a drawn position with best play. All right, so anyway, so rook g1. That's a good move. Checks. Yeah, Chelsea definitely. So I think she's trying to win still, Chelsea, which she's justified doing that. But definitely don't want to run your king away from the action. Like then it just gives white opportunity to improve their king. And chess, you want to keep your opponent's pieces as passive as you can, and while keeping your own pieces as active as you can. So any good chess player in the world would know that. And then the reason why there's some people who are the best in the world is they're just better at accomplishing that. They're better at getting their pieces on active squares and keeping their opponent passive. There's one world champion, Anatoly Karpov, who was very famous for not so much focusing on getting his own pieces active, but keeping your pieces so passive that you couldn't do anything. And those are like some of the toughest chess players you'll ever play against. It's tough to play against people who attack all the time, but I think it's much tougher to play against people who've really mastered how to stop your pieces from getting active. So anyway, another great game. I think, I have really high hopes for both CC and Chelsea. I think, I think they're going to be spectacular chess players. Not to put any pressure, but just to give them some encouragement. I think they're going to play a lot more interesting games in the future. Hopefully, CC will be able to compete in a little bit more of the tournaments because, I think their games are always quite interesting. Let's look at Benjamin and Amelia. These are also classmates, and one of the reasons why I wanted to move Amelia and her sister up to a higher chess class level is Amelia didn't really have, they were basically they're much older than the other students that were in their class, and they were basically dominating, just they a little bit older. But now Amelia and Olivia are with students their own age, and they're still doing extremely well. And I wanted Amelia to get to play against Benjamin a little bit more because I thought he's probably like the only player that would. Um, no, that's too strong. What I'm about to say. I shouldn't say only. I thought he would be one of a few players in that class that would give Amelia a good chess game. So yeah, so now we kind of get the opportunity to watch one of their games. I like d5 from Black a ton. Yeah, this is a really nice aggressive move. Amelia has like a very uncompromising chess style. She's like very aggressive, and sometimes a little overly aggressive, but I think she's finding the right balance, and that's what you want. You want to be aggressive, I think. You're going to just beat a lot of players with tactics. So yeah, so I think when Amelia sort of figures out the balance between playing attacking chess but not overdoing it, she's going to be a really tough player. And Benjamin's a really solid, strong player. I think he's going to enter high school next year, and I think he'll be a really tough player to beat in high school chess. And yeah, I'm excited for both of their chess futures. Take. So this is the line of too aggressive. So I think Amelia thought she's winning this bishop for free, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this is just losing for Black now, because basically you're just giving away a higher valued piece for a lower valued piece for no reason. I definitely think we can just castle here, and I guess we need a good response to e4. That is an issue. Maybe instead of castling, maybe we play queen d7 with just so we can protect our bishop a little bit more. And we might even be able to castle queenside actually. But yeah, this move knight takes e3. This is basically a losing move on the spot, because we're just giving away our better pieces for worse pieces. That's not something we want to do. She must have missed that the pawn can take the bishop, Amelia. That's the only thing I can think of why she would go for that variation. I mean, I like so much of what Amelia's done. It's just giving away the better pieces. This move f5 is very creative. It puts a lot of pressure on White to figure out like what exactly is going to happen next. Like there's a couple of pawn pushes that are possible, but with just like somewhat decent defense, there's just not enough. There's not enough energy behind this attack. She's just going to run out of pieces here, Amelia. Yeah, knight a3 is a really good move from Benjamin to bring his rook to the d file. That's a really nice move. What's the standings? Let's get an update. Yeah, you never have to like refresh on chess.com to get the standings, so it's a bit frustrating that they must have they changed some settings, and now there's these like different requirements. This is an awesome tournament for Devin, by the way. I've never this is definitely his best tournament, and yeah, super encouraging. I'm really happy for Devin. He's been working hard. He reminds me of myself a lot, because he doesn't like to listen to teachers' instructions. He likes to figure out things for himself, and I was the same way, probably a little bit too much sometimes. So yeah, Devin kind of reminds me of myself in that way quite a bit. All right, so knight a3, f4, queen e4, queen d2. Yeah, she's finding some very nice moves, Amelia. Again, it's just if I can get Amelia to play attacking chess when she's not down material, because if you're attacking with more pieces, your attacks are going to be more successful. So when I see Amelia like sacrifice, a knight for a pawn for no reason and then attack, I just think, how strong would her attacks be if she still had the material balance, if she wasn't down a knight for a pawn? So I think that's just definitely an area that she needs to work on if she wants to kind of take that next level of improvement. like here, definitely you shouldn't trade the queens, right? When you're down material, you don't want to make even trades. Like we had this nice, we had this queen e3 move available, and it's probably not going to change too much, to be honest with you. After king h1, rook here, white can easily contest the open d file, but at least you give your opponent some more issues. And also after queen e3, hold on, this is kind of relevant perhaps, is you might be able to play a move like f3. Yeah, f3 is very tricky for white. So yeah, definitely don't want to trade the queens here. When you're down material, you want to avoid making trades. Okay, yeah, that just hangs the f4 pawn. Yeah, and then now she's just trading all the pieces, Amelia, and she's, again, like I said before, she's just gonna run out of energy. She has no firepower left in her attack here. So I think Benjamin's gonna run away with the tournament today. It's good to have Harry play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Harry's first time in the tournament. Was it his second? But yeah, it was really nice to have Harry compete. We missed Aiden and Aiden today. Yeah, I always like their games because they're very young and just like they just go for it. Very aggressive players, and yeah, they're doing spectacular in chess class. They're like real superstars, Aiden and Aiden. It's good to have Eileen playing today also. And then Linnea stopped by for a little bit. I assume he's going to take on h2 there. Yeah. And then we just go queen. Okay, that's fine. Queen e7, I think, was the easiest way to win. So it's one move. Like now, I don't think Benjamin's going to create a stalemate, but just to give one. No, definitely should go. Yeah, definitely should go king g6 here. But I mean, you should lose anyway. So Chelsea is in a totally winning position, but Alex is going to run out of time on her. He missed this, Alex? Really? By the way, this was a bad move from Chelsea as well. There's actually a very famous game where a grandmaster lost to a very similar idea. This move d5 is spectacular if your bishop is protected, but since your bishop is unprotected, queen takes c8 just wins a free piece here. But if this bishop was protected, then d5 just wins a piece because you're attacking the bishop and the queen. This is a really tough break for Chelsea because I assume this might have been the highest rated player she would have defeated. We'll see what happens. I shouldn't just assume Alex is going to run out the clock, but yeah, I don't see how Chelsea will win in the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds if Alex doesn't want her to. If Alex keeps playing, then potentially, but yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. A little bit of an off day for Alex today, I think. By the way, he's generally doesn't make these type of blunders. He's been playing too much what they call bullet chess, so it's just like 1 minute chess for anyone who doesn't know. And I really advise the kids not to play too much bullet chess. But there's been a lot of players recently who seem to have improved a lot as chess players from bullet chess. Like one is Alireza Firouzja, who's number 2 in the entire world now, and then Nakamura. But the conventional wisdom is that playing too many like really fast games is bad for your chess because you get like a little too impulsive, and it sort of can distort your understanding of time a little bit. Like if you just start playing so quickly and then you play like, let's say, a classical game where you have like 2 hours for a game, it can really mess up yeah, you're thinking, and it can really do a lot of bad things in that area. Um, yeah, this would be a big game for Chelsea too. She could get into third place. It's been a really competitive tournament. Like everyone scores around 50% except for the top two, and even the top two have lost some games. Like Benjamin's lost 2.5 out of 15. Um, Alex has lost 3.5 out of 14. Devin's at an even score. So it's been really competitive. Like all the way to seventh place, an even score. I can't. Okay, I guess if I move my face out of the way, I can see how the other players did. But anyway. So what's going on here? Any moves? K4, castle. No, take. Take. What do you think? Why not take? I think Alex is trolling a little bit. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's just making bad moves. I don't know. But yeah, why not take? A5. D4. We're gonna forget en passant. I guarantee it. En passant is clearly the best move here, and we're not even thinking about it as my guess. See, we gotta remember all the chess rules, class. The white pawn moves 2 squares in 1 turn. The white pawn and black pawn are right next to each other. We can capture en passant. The reason why en passant is clearly the best move is because the knight can't take back because of the bishop. So if there's anything, if you're still watching Chelsea, there's anything for you to take from this video. Well, hopefully you learn a lot from this video. But if there's one thing, gotta remember the en passant rule. What happened? Game aborted? Oh, Alex was going to checkmate Chelsea, and then the game got aborted. I guess the tournament ended is the more accurate way to think of it. So I thought Chelsea was going to get unlucky, but apparently she got saved by the bell here. Okay, so here should be 6. Yeah, here just queen e2 is very, very tempting, I think. We're not threatening checkmate here because of the knight, but we are threatening moves like queen g4 that should be winning. Oh, actually, we're threatening queen f2 with the idea of winning the bishop or the knight. So there's a lot of strong threats after that move. Bishop e2. Okay. Yeah, we gotta see that. Even here though, like what's wrong with just rook takes g2 should be very convincing, I think. No, we're hanging. So yeah, here our bishop's under attack. So again, we gotta we're a lot of stuff with pawns that we have to work on. Yes, pawns seem to be giving us the most trouble. Anyway, I want to give a sincere congrats to Devin. I said this many times. I have a lot of respect for the kids who might struggle to still believe in themselves. Right? You're young. Like it doesn't mean anything if you get beat up for even when I say beat up, I'm talking about chess, of course. When you have like bad results for a while, it's easy to give up on yourself and think, oh, this isn't for me. I'm not that good. I don't believe in that at all. Like everyone improves at different speeds. So to see Devin, who typically doesn't finish in top 3, to see him have this 3rd place finish, I feel really happy for Devin. Extremely happy that he stuck with it, and hopefully this will give him some confidence, and he can play even better chess in the future. And then of course, congrats to Benjamin and Alex for rounding out the top 3. It's kind of funny, like it's just a gold medal on the screen, but you still. I know, like I'm speaking on behalf of Benjamin. I don't know how Benjamin feels, of course, but when I see like I get a gold medal, I still feel like a sense of satisfaction, even though I know it's just a medal on a screen. But there's like I think there's an awards somewhere, an awards section on chess.com. I don't know where it is. So they have like a trophy box. Under stats. Yeah, I don't know where it is actually. Trophies. Anyway, this is kind of a boring way to end the video. But anyway, great tournament, everyone. I hope everyone had fun, and I just want to thank you for playing. We're not going to have the tournament on Christmas Day, obviously, so I'm debating if we should have one on January 1st. Like on the one hand, it is sort of a holiday, but on the other hand, I think there'll be a lot of kids that are free, and it might be a great day to to play. So I'll let everyone know. I'm leaning towards actually having the tournament on January 1st, but we'll see. Anyway, hope everyone has a good weekend, and hope they enjoyed the video. And I'll see everyone in class this week. All right, bye everyone.